Today you're going to learn how to graph a quadratic function. Quadratic functions are functions in which the greatest power of the variable is 2. The first function we're going to graph is y equals x squared. We're going to start by making a table.
This is a reminder that the Mindset Book Discussion Group will be meeting in the IMC. Come on down.
Go ahead and fill in the values -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2 for x. And now we're going to go plug that in. The first one is -2 squared. -2 squared is -2 times -2, which is a positive 4, making the ordered pair -2, 4. The second one, we're going to plug in -1. -1 squared is -1 times -1, which is positive 1. So we have -1, 1 as your ordered pair. Now we're going to plug in 0. 0 to the second power is 0 times 0, which is 0, making the ordered pair 0, 0. Now we're going to plug in 1. 1 squared is 1 times 1, which is 1, making the ordered pair 1, 1. And lastly, we're going to plug in 2 for x. 2 squared is 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, so the ordered pair is 2, 4. Now, if you tried using a calculator on these first two, when x was -2 and -1, you might have gotten the wrong answer if you forgot to put parentheses around the -2. Remember, if you're using a calculator and you're taking a negative number to a power, you have to put the parentheses around it, or you're going to get a wrong answer on your calculator half the time. Now let's go ahead and graph those points. -2, 4 is to the left 2 and up 4. -1, 1 is to the left 1 and up 1. 0, 0 is at the origin. 1, 1 is to the right 1 and up 1. And 2, 4 is to the right 2 and up 4. You'll notice these points aren't in a straight line like they were in Chapter 9 when we were graphing linear functions. These are going to make a sort of U-shaped curve called a parabola. Parabola was one of the vocab words on your Chapter 10 vocab assignment. Let's move over to the next example. Let's plug in the same numbers for x. We're going to use -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Now when we plug these in, we're going to have -2 times -2 squared. -2 times -2 is positive 4, and 4 times -2 is -8. So the ordered pair is -2, -8. Now let's plug in -1 for x. So we have -2 times -1 squared. -1 squared is -1 times -1, which is positive 1, times -2, which is -2. The ordered pair is -1, -2. Now let's plug in 0. -2 times 0 squared. 0 squared is 0. 0 times -2 is still 0. So 0, 0 is your ordered pair. Now we're going to plug in 1 for x. -2 times 1 squared. 1 squared is 1. 1 times a -2 is -2, which gives us 1, -2 as your ordered pair. And lastly, we're going to plug in 2. -2 times 2 squared. You'll do the 2 squared first. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times -2 is -8. So 2, -8. I forgot to point out that when we're calculating this one without a calculator, you want to make sure you're following the order of operations, which is why I was doing the squaring first and then the multiplying. Now go ahead and plot those points. -2, -8 is going to the left 2 and down 8. -1, -2 is going to the left 1 and down 2. 0, 0 is at our origin. 1, negative 2 is to the right 1 and down 2. And 2, negative 8 is to the right 2 and down 8. Now go ahead and connect those. You'll notice it's that same curved shape, except for this time instead of opening upward, it's opening downward. Our third example is y equals x squared plus 2. We'll use the same values for x again, negative 2, 1, 0, 1, and 2. We're going to go ahead and start by plugging in the negative 2. Negative 2 squared is negative 2 times negative 2, which is 4, plus 2, which is 6, giving us negative 2, 6 as the ordered pair. Now plug in a negative 1 for x. Negative 1 squared. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1, plus 2 gives us 3. So the ordered pair is negative 1, 3. Now we're going to plug in 0. 0 squared plus 2 is 0 plus 2, which is 2. Ordered pair then is 0, 2. Now plug in the 1. 1 squared plus 2. 1 squared is 1, plus 2 is 3, so our ordered pair is 1, 3. Now let's go ahead and plug in the 2. 2 squared plus 2. 2 squared is 4, plus 2 is 6, so our ordered pair is 2, 6. Go ahead and plot those points. Negative 2, 6 is going to be 2 to the left and up 6. Negative 1, 3 is 1 to the left and up 3. 0, 2 is stay right there but go up 2. And then 1, 3 is 1 to the right and up 3. 2, 6 is 2 to the right and up 6. Go ahead and connect them and you'll get that same shape as the previous two examples. Now our last example is the trickiest one of the bunch. The part that's tricky here is you'll notice it's y equals negative x squared plus 4, or the opposite of x squared plus 4. So you're going to want to figure out what x squared is and then take its opposite and then add 4. Let's plug in the same numbers for x again and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now I want the opposite of negative 2 squared plus 4. Negative 2 squared is negative 2 times negative 2, which is 4, and the opposite of 4 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So the ordered pair is negative 2, 0. Next, we want the opposite of negative 1 squared plus 4. Negative 1 squared ends up being 1, and then the opposite of 1 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. Negative 1, 3 is your ordered pair. Now we want the opposite of 0 squared. 0 squared is just 0. The opposite of 0 is just 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. The ordered pair then is 0, 4. Now we want the opposite of 1 squared plus 4. 1 squared is 1. The opposite of 1 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. So 1, 3 is that ordered pair. Now we're going to plug in a 2. The opposite of 2 squared plus 4. 2 squared is 4. The opposite of 4 is negative 4. Then negative 4 plus 4 is 0. 2, 0 is that ordered pair. Now to plot these points, the first one, negative 2, 0 is 2 to the left, and then stay there. Negative 1, 3 is 1 to the left and up 3. 0, 4, stay where you're at, but go up 4. 1, 3 is 1 to the right and up 3. And 2, 0 is 2 to the right and stay there. connect them with your curved line. Now, if you take a look at all 4 of those examples, 2 of them are on the left side are going upwards, and the 2 on the right are going downward. If you take a look at the equations, the ones that have a positive coefficient of x, meaning the number in front of the variable being positive, it's opening upward. This would be a positive 1. This would be a positive 1. If you go and look at the ones on the right-hand side, the coefficient of x on the top one is negative 2, and on the bottom one is negative 1. Since those have a negative coefficient of x, they open downward. If at any point you needed to go back and see one of these again, you can always rewind. And don't forget, you can also pause as you're going through if I'm going too fast. See you tomorrow.
Arriva Med to the main office.